Anyway, those are probably my favorite retrieves, but don't ever take, what my favorite retrieve, what Pete's favorite retrieve, what Fred's is as the way to fish it. Because every day those fish change. Every day, and different conditions mean they're going to feed, really fast and aggressive. Other days it's like really slow and you can't go slow enough, okay? Many times I figured out the bite by throwing out there and somebody asked me a question or whatever, or I turn around to do something, what's this? And goosh, and, oh, I got to let it sit, something like that, when I normally would never have let it sit. So if I paid a lot of attention, a lot of times I may miss that bite because when I'm paying attention, I'm not letting it sit. I'm getting it, So water clarity, I like it clear. Topwater is more of a clear water type presentation. However, there are baits that really attract them in stained and muddy water, and we will get to that. Wind, there's a deal. There's baits that are good in windy conditions. There's baits that are not good in windy conditions. The subtle, silent ones are probably not as good when it gets real windy and choppy, whereas the bigger, noisier ones, pretty daggum good when it gets to, windy conditions. So I kind of prefer, if I'm having like the perfect topwater day, we kind of be a little overcast, just kind of a moderate temperature, 60s, 70s, and just maybe early morning, late evening, and they eat it. And then of course the middle of the day is sometimes where you catch your biggest fish. Topwater's good a lot more often than we give it credit for. So it's really cool when you go to a real muddy reservoir, a real place that I can go back in those creeks and little shallow pockets and bays, throw a buzz bait, and catch them. I can go to grass lakes. You've got heavy, heavy matted grass, vegetation. Throw it out there, and what's really cool about it, it's a consistent sound, coming and going, and they can locate it. So when they're hunkered down in this, all of a sudden it's, they're what? And they come to it. A real neat, kind of a unique deal is a friend of mine runs the Walt Disney Waters, all the vegetation control and all the stuff down there at Walt Disney World. And they were putting in, they have a real problem with vegetation. So they were putting in a carpet and some type of sheeting that they put into the marinas so the grass doesn't grow up in the marina and plug it up, because they got all these little boats that they rent out of that they make a lot of money on. So they don't want the grass to fill it up. So, and they don't want to have to sit there and constantly treat the water with chemicals, so they put this sheeting down that can't grow through. So he gets his scuba tanks and he's got a sledgehammer. How'd you like to do that? Sledgehammer underwater. Anyway, so he's sledgehammering underwater, and he said he got this real eerie feeling. He just like, and he looked around, and there's like 40 big old bass looking at him. He's glad he's a pretty good sized dude, because they might have thought he was a crawfish and tasty time. Anyway, he's just, and what it was, they come to a sound. Lipless crankbaits, red-eye shad. It's not anything in the natural environment for them. They talk about the crawfish clicks and all. I'm sure they all make sounds, but that's not what it sounds like. Nothing that we produce makes it sound like what something in the natural environment. But the biggest thing about bass, they're curious as heck.
Hey, I'm Pete Gluzek.
And I'm Mike Iaconelli.
And this is Bass University TV.
Welcome to Bass University TV, an online video training course where you'll learn champion bass fishing techniques from pro anglers Pete Gluzek, Mike Iaconelli, and their talented special guests.
Everywhere I go in the country, I'm trying to use these techniques because I catch big fish that way.
From on the water to in the classroom.
We want to use that bait to help make that area even smaller and really, really find that sweet spot.
You'll learn sound techniques and strong fundamental bass fishing skills.
You want something that's got a nice limber action, that's going to allow you to build pressure and keep those hooks pinned against that fish's mouth.
Watch hours of video content on multiple topics at your own pace for a low monthly fee. Cancel at any time.
Hold on, because you're going to catch some big fish.
Information is power in the sport of fishing, so learn from the very best.
That's a key theory in all of fishing.
Subscribe to Bass University TV today.
Man, does it trigger a lot of strikes.
Here's the part that you're not going to hear anywhere else. This is the Bass University TV exclusive.